So we need to get back to Michigan. Only problem is we live 3,000 miles away and I am terrified of flying. So instead, we booked a roomette on Amtrak's Empire Builder, a train that runs all the way from Seattle to Chicago in just under 48 hours. We started out with a very long Uber ride from Tacoma to Seattle's King Street station. The station was absolutely beautiful.
Whoa. Two trains.
The station was built in 1906, originally for the Great Northern Railway, which connected the Great Lakes to the Pacific Ocean by rail for the first time. Once we were there, we checked our suitcases and waited in the main hall for our train to arrive.
Once our train was called, the boarding process was pretty quick and easy, partially because we were in the sleeper car.
Here's a sleeping car.
Okay, we're 8:31.
Since we were on one of Amtrak's superliners, we had to head upstairs to find our room. At the end of the hallway, we found our cozy little roomette and got comfortable.
Immediately after we got on the train, my first thought was, oh God, this is a lot smaller and tighter than I thought it would be. Not the room itself, but just like the hallways, the corridors, the ceilings, everything was very crammed and narrow. And as someone with claustrophobia, that really sent me into a panic very quickly.
Yeah, it was pretty tight in there, but Keegan handled it well and eventually got adjusted. The first day we were traveling up Puget Sound and across northern Washington. For this portion of the trip, a national parks guide narrated the journey for us.
It is on a clear day, especially like the last few days.
For the first few hours, the train hugged the shoreline of Puget Sound, offering stunning views of the water.
I love the ocean. Oh my god. We're like right above.
Fun fact, this is one of the only places in the country where you can whale watch from a train. Now, we didn't see any, but the view was still amazing regardless. Since the train left around 5 p.m., we very quickly had to make some decisions about dinner.
You can order the shrimp. Perfect. I'll get the salad. Both will actually end up being eaten by me.
On Amtrak, you can either eat in the dining car or you can have your meals brought to the room and eat in there. And since we were still getting settled, we decided to eat in our room.
Will you eat the whole chocolate cake?
Yeah.
Then I'll get the other one.
Okay.
Too. Why not?
Since our meals were included with the price of the room, we decided to ball out on the first night and get a little bit of everything.
We have a 3-course meal.
Yes, we do. Here's my chicken.
Ooh.
Wow.
Those little carrot balls.
Wow.
So cute. Okay.
Okay, and then we have all the...
Oh wow. Gorgeous.
Not only were the views incredible, but the parks guide narration continued through dinner, and it made it feel like we were on a fancy sightseeing tour.
This area is indeed part of the Pacific Ring of Fire.
This is having a moment.
I'm in awe. I think I actually might cry.
Aww. Dinner time.
Yay. So much food.
Yeah, this is really great.
This is ideal.
With these views, we really got to have our cake and eat it too.
I got the chocolate spoon cake, which I'll eat with a fork. Wow, that's fantastic.
Yay.
Oh, just very dense, rich chocolate cake.
We love a dense cake.
Wow.
Should I try mine?
Yes.
So this is the white chocolate blueberry cobbler cheesecake.
Okay.
The flavor is great.
Okay.
I think maybe it's just been like sitting out for a while.
Okay.
It's kind of soupy, but it tastes great.
Okay, good.
After dinner, we got an update from our cat sitter letting us know our babies were doing great, and we then watched a little YouTube together before wrapping up our day. All right, we're wrapping up our first day on the train. Really didn't know what to expect, but it's been really cool. This room's really comfy, it's really cozy. It is small, but I mean, I think we're making it work pretty well.
When you compare it to a plane, it's huge. It's like first class.
Gotcha, yeah, I don't have that perspective.
So I was saying to Keeks earlier, I would have just paid to do this just to enjoy the views and go right back home. It is worth it just for the scenery, but we're also getting to where we need to go.
So yeah, we had a really nice first day. The dinner was great. It was a really nice dinner. And we're about to get out on our first fresh air stop, where you get to kind of walk around for a few minutes, stretch your legs, and get some fresh air. While we were out enjoying the fresh air, our room attendant was transforming our roomette into its nighttime configuration, which means it's time for our first ever room tour.
Here's the bed. Here's the bed.
We then settled in for our first night ever on a train.
We woke up the next morning somewhere in Montana. After a rough night of sleep, we really didn't want to get out of bed. The scenery was just so beautiful, we could have laid there all day watching it go by. But we had to hurry if we wanted to make it to breakfast before they closed. So we quickly got ready and headed over. Since the dining car has very limited capacity, you pretty much always get sat with strangers.
Which at first was a very difficult experience for us
Mhm.
introverts, but ended up actually being really cool because you're forced to talk with different people on the train, and I think we had a lot of really cool chats with people.
After chatting with the lovely couple from California, we popped into the observation car to finish our tea and coffee, before returning to our room to debrief from the night before. All right, we're into day 2. While we were at breakfast, our attendant transformed the room back into its daytime configuration. We had our first night on the train, which was a little rough, very rocky.
I got used to it for sure, but starting out it was like, this is really loud. It's really hard to let your body relax when you're kind of being thrashed around.
Yeah.
Especially me being on our top bunk.
Lex was very kind to take the top bunk.
It was fine, honestly, once I got past the thought of like, I could fall off this. So having that little net
The harness, yeah.
is reassuring. I think now that I know what to expect, it'll be easier tonight. For the first time, it is kind of jarring.
Yeah.
We enjoyed the rest of the morning relaxing in our room, taking things slow after a rough first night on the rails.
Somewhere around this time, we exited the Rocky Mountains and abruptly entered the Great Plains. So we made it through the Rocky Mountains this morning. This is our one full day, like morning to night, on the train. So we're just gonna keep doing our little hobbies.
After some peaceful alone time, we made our way back to the dining car for lunch.
We sat with a couple of gentlemen who did not know each other. Got some great recommendations for places to go around Washington. It was really cool. We got to hear both of their firsthand stories of experiencing the Mount St. Helens eruption. They both were like in the area and lived in the areas, and what it was like when the sky went dark and having to get out of town. But since we have used up all of our people points with our first 2 meals of the day, we've decided to have dinner in our room together. I'm excited to get the steak for dinner because Jeb Brooks, our favorite, we love Jeb. He's largely the reason we're on this trip in the first place. Jeb loves the Amtrak steaks. We have to try it.
We spent the rest of the afternoon hanging out in our room, playing chess, reading, and watching the scenery pass by. This was also when we started to notice some haze on the horizon.
I just had to get a video of this haze real quick.
The sun.
Yeah, I guess there's some wildfires in Canada, and that's causing crazy haze. I don't know how much it's showing up on camera, but this sun is pretty much red. Like, we're just on Tatooine right now. We decided this was a great time for another room tour. Here you'll find our luxurious accommodations, which, though I may sound ironic, are actually very nice. Very comfortable. These seats are fantastic. So this is the daytime configuration where we have just 2 seats facing each other. We do have this wonderful little tray table here that pops up and flips out, which has been very nice for us to do our little hobbies and activities. It's very nice and comfortable in here. We can close the door, we can close the curtains. We do have a little tiny closet right here, which seems like it wouldn't be helpful, but it really, really is.
Yep, this is the top bunk that folds down.
Here we have our plugs and our controls that are maybe a little bit dated, but they work just fine, I think. And here we have our giant window for our wonderful views. As promised, we then ordered dinner to our room to cap off our first full day on Amtrak. Okay, time for the Amtrak steak taste test. That's really good. That's surprisingly very, very good.
I like the sauce too.
Yeah? Good?
It's good. I mean, we make salmon at home. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I don't think anything will top that. But it is really good.
Good.
After dinner, we played one last game of chess
Which I lost yet again.
before settling in for our last night on the train.
Day 3 was when we finally made our way back into civilization. After another questionable night of sleep, we decided to take a quick walk on the platform in St. Paul before making our way to the dining car for one last breakfast. It's our last day on the train. We just had breakfast for the last time.
Now we've had 3 meals in the dining car with all different people each time.
We had our second night of sleep, which for me was actually pretty good. A lot better than the first night. We were still moving around a lot, but I don't know if I was just like really tired, but I actually slept very well. You maybe not so much.
I did it eventually, but the first couple of hours I was getting sloshed around. Like it literally, I was like going like this, and I'm like, how am I gonna sleep?
Yeah.
But eventually I did.
This is also when we started following the Mississippi River, which is something that we have been looking forward to crossing the entire trip. I believe that is the Mississippi River that we will be crossing over soon, and that's very exciting.
Yeah, like we said before, Jeb Brooks is the one who got us excited about taking the train in the first place, and he always gets so excited when they cross the Mississippi.
He loves the Mississippi.
It was a fun moment for us.
Yeah.
Hello, fisherman. Hello. They waved.
We're crossing the Mississippi. Whoa.
We soon ordered lunch to our room, trying to soak in one last meal on the train.
We made our way through Milwaukee and into our home stretch towards Chicago. We are just about done with the train ride. We are almost to Chicago. We are about 45 hours in at this point, almost 2 full days. It has been quite a journey.
I loved it.
Yeah.
I really loved it. I'm really glad that we tried it out because I think it'll be something that we do again, even if we don't need to.
I think it was worth it.
It's a really unique experience, and if you have the time to spend traveling for this long, I would absolutely recommend it.
It's something we've been like wanting to do for a little while now, and I'm so glad that we got to. And it definitely has like, I think, excited me about doing something like this again. I know there are other train routes that we want to do in the future.
If you value privacy and if you like to just not have to worry about being in charge of anything, it's a really nice way to still just enjoy and still be in vacation mode without having to navigate any of the logistics.
And I was really worried about like being off grid or like disconnected. And that actually ended up being my favorite part. Once we like got into the cities and we had service reliably, it just got less exciting. The first like day and a half where we were just in the mountains, that was just a very magical, relaxing, very enjoyable experience. On this train journey, we traveled through 7 states in just under 47 hours, getting to see some of the best scenery in the country. If you've ever taken an overnight train ride, please share your thoughts. I'd love to hear other people's experiences of this.
And if you have any recommendations on train rides we should take, or even places to go around the Pacific Northwest, we'd love to hear any suggestions.
Thanks for joining us on this journey. If you enjoyed it, subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Now just for a 5-hour drive to Michigan. So I just don't think we can end the video with you sprawled like this.
I think we can.
If you've ever taken I guess there's
See you on the rails.
I was just gonna say that.